Hey guys, Clatonian here. Today I'd like to talk about standing in your power. So one of the best ways to do that is by accepting responsibility. So oftentimes, it's human nature. Uh, People like to shift the blame to others or to some event or circumstance, that happens over which they seemingly have no control, right? And and I realize that stuff happens, in life. Sometimes, shit just happens, but still, someone's got to bear responsibility. And so when you shift the blame to others or external sources, then when you do that, you're actually ceding authority or dominion, to that person or thing or source or whatever it is. And uh, the way the universe works, or this world too, though, for that matter, there's a natural order of things. And one of those orders is that responsibility and power go hand in hand. And so when you're willing to assume responsibility for yourself, or even more so, if you're willing to expand your responsibilities and assume responsibility not only for your actions, but maybe even the actions of others, then that's how you increase your power. That's why you see CEOs, at companies, they have this tremendous amount of power because ultimately, the buck stops with them. Like one of their subordinates could do something totally, get something wrong, and if it's not corrected eventually, and it has a domino effect, where it negatively impacts the company, then, CEO just got to go sometimes, because they're in charge. Head of a household, whether it's man or woman, if you're in that role, if that's the role that you want to assume, then you have to be willing to take responsibility, whether you're a man or a woman. You can't just like be in charge, but you don't want to take the responsibility. So that's something to think about too. I know a lot of couples kind of butt heads over that. So whoever is willing to take the blame, that's the leader. Ultimate example though of responsibility. Let's look at Jesus Christ. He died on the cross for our sins. So the Bible tells us, right? And so he bore the cost or price, wages of our sins. He didn't commit those sins. He was without blame. But, he bore responsibility for all of us. And therefore, he's exalted and, and he's very powerful, right? So, a great role model, by the way, too. Think about it, to be willing to stand up and say, hey, it's okay, I got this for you. I'll stand in the gap for you, And, that's why people, bow down, and, worship him because of, this great love that he poured out. And you see this happening on other levels too, though. When you see someone that is willing to stand up for others, who maybe can't stand up for themselves, such as our political leaders. Right now, though, I think we have some poor political leadership. And I'm not just talking about Joe Biden, whatever. I don't want to make this, something like that. But I think on both sides of the aisle, I didn't like Trump. Not too happy with Biden either. But that's another story. But I'm just, our leaders are really, I don't know. Yeah, we've got a leadership vacuum in this country on both sides, like everywhere. We need unity. That's another discussion. But I'm just saying, hey, we need to take responsibility. And I think that's a problem with our leadership, by the way, today. Like nobody really wants to take responsibility. And that's why you see this chaos and confusion, that we have. And you'll see chaos and confusion in relationships too, or in your life, if you're not willing to take responsibility, or people that you're dealing with aren't willing to take responsibility. So